back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. And fuck you cunts, we're on a fucking tear today. I had like 5 or 6 drunk cunts trying to call me through Messenger and Instagram all day today, which is a few more than normal, and I couldn't work it out. I was like, why are there so many drunk cunts trying to call me today? And then when I opened my laptop just before, I realized it's Easter. I had no fucking idea it was Easter. They don't celebrate Easter here, and if anyone does, they stone them in the street. That's what happens. You like Jesus, you're out of here. So once I found that out, it all made sense. You fucking maniacs are on a 4-day long weekend, aren't ya? And you're like, I might give Boyle a little fucking tingle. He'll love it. He will fucking love this. How's this? One of the guys I got about 50 missed calls from today was my old friend Matthew Martin. Old Matty Martin. We lived on the same street for a little while there, and we played for Dramana in the under-18s grand final together. Fuck, I had a bad game that game. It was embarrassing how bad I played. Anyway, I haven't seen Matty for like 18 years or something like that. I moved to Sydney, and it turns out he moved to Canada. And a couple of months ago, I get a message from Matty out of the blue, haven't spoken to him in that long, saying he stumbled across my podcast over there in Canada, and it took him about 80 episodes to realize it was fucking me. Thanks, Matty. And now you want a fucking phone call, Matty? Where were you the last 18 years? Where were you when I fucking needed you? When I was hanging on by a thread, Matty? Where were you? Nah, it's all right. I don't mind taking a phone call here and there, but you have to fucking let me know first. Don't just surprise me. I don't answer phone calls at the fucking best of times. My mum went into hospital a couple of weeks ago, and she had to give me 5 missed calls before I even answered. But honestly, I don't mind taking a phone call. Just message me first, and we'll organise something. Don't drink a bottle of Jim Beam and just start video calling me, because the likelihood is I'm not going to fucking answer, especially if I'm busy, and I'm always busy. And that's the thing. People only want to call when they're drunk too. The next day, they're not too fucking chatty. But if you are drinking and you get the idea in your head, I'll give Boyle a call, just leave me an audio recording first. I'll listen to it and I'll gauge how drunk you are, and then I'll decide if I want to speak to you, you cunts. So yeah, send me a message or an audio recording. I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with taking phone calls as well on my time though. Like, I know you probably want to get the phone call in before your 3rd pill hits, but that doesn't necessarily line up with what I'm up to, all right? Okay, now we've got that worked out. Let's start this week's Fucked Up Friday. I'm not even going to do the preamble to this week's Fucked Up Friday because this week's story is so fucking long. It's been giving me fucking anxiety for about 2 months. Another thing I need to tell you is I'm going to get around to all your fucking stories, all right? Don't stress out. I've got some plans in the work to do a longer podcast as well. Once I get settled in here, I will start working on that. So don't stress out. They'll get read out. And if you would like to send one in, hit me up on social media. I'm Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Or just email me. Email's generally how I prefer it now. Email me on boylecomedy@gmail.com. Also, if the audio is coming through a little bit bad, I'm going to get that sorted over the next couple of weeks. I need to soundproof this room. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Until then, you're just going to have to make your peace with a few dogs barking in the background and a little bit of echo. All right, let's get stuck into this week's story. This week's Fucked Up Friday story was sent in by my man over there in Brisbane, Australia, Scott. Old fucking Scotty over there with his 15-page fucking story. But thanks, Scott, for sending it in. Let's get to it. I'm a builder in Brizzy. That's how you had time to write this fucking story. You're a builder. It makes sense now. How about you get on the fucking tools and help some of the boys out, huh? Sitting there on a Wednesday typing out a fucking story as the house falls down because you got some fucking 16-year-old meth head welding the beams. Get on the tools, Scotty. Don't worry about your Fucked Up Friday story. Get on the fucking tools. So I'm a builder from Brizzy who never grew up, and my apprentices love to challenge me to a drinking competition or a drug challenge. Fucking amateurs. So the story starts about 12 or so years ago when we have an early knock Thursday lunch on Christmas Eve. So the boys and a few other tradies hit the tins and head back to my place. We played my favourite drinking game, stand in a circle and throw a full-size punching bag to a random person in the circle. If it touches the ground, they have to do a shot of Jaeger. Why use a punching bag? Just throw one of your apprentices around. Throw one of those little fucking runts around. They need to earn their 130 a week. I'm 6'3" and 110 kilos and go all right at this game. My brother drops in for a visit. He's a Darwin-based army jerk and a loose fucking unit, and starts doing shots when anyone catches or drops it. Just pounding shots, basically. Yeah, that's what I never understood about drinking games. I'm like, I am trying to get drunk. Just line the shots up, fuckheads. I don't need to bounce a ping pong ball into a red cup. Just fill the red cup full of gin or vodka or anything and I'll down it. We're not playing fucking games here. So in no time, Bozo, the smallest apprentice, can't keep pace and he's dropping the bag every round. The workout plus many shots takes its toll and he's in the garden spewing. Jimbo tried to cheat by tipping out his shot, so I called him out and made him scull from the bottle. That's a good boss. You teach him work ethic there. Never cut corners. He gave it a fair crack, but the weak-livered Irishman vomited it back down the neck of the Jaeger bottle, and when I said he had to pay for the next bottle, he protested. So he doesn't work here anymore. Fair enough. The lads make their ways home, most drink driving, and we go inside for a feed, and the missus cooked up to absorb some of the alcohol. The sun has gone down, and my 6-year-old son looks out the back door and says, "Geez, that's a big snake." He said it so matter of fact, I'm thinking he can't be serious, but sure enough, a 6 or so foot carpet snake was hanging down from the roof trying to get into our bird cage. I said to my brother, "Go get it, you try hard fucking Bear Grylls." He replied, "Well, I can, but your kid is always going to remember the day I had to save your pussy ass from a carpet snake." I was fairly tanked, but he was right. He was right. So I got a ladder and climbed on the roof and grabbed it. I had its head in one hand and its tail in the other, and it wasn't happy about it. I realized I couldn't let go, but I was too pissed to climb down the ladder with just my feet, so I did the only thing a blind drunk Aussie dad could. I jumped off the roof holding the snake, fell tits up and dislocated my shoulder, dropped the snake and the cunt bit me. The cunt bit me. Don't stress, non-venomous. Fuck. I wasn't stressed about it being non-venomous. My brother laughed so hard he literally wet his footy shorts when he chucked the snake in the wheelie bin and dragged me inside. The missus wanted me to go to the hospital, but my brother assured her his army training made him skilled at popping shoulders back in. I went looking for some pain relief to prepare myself for his help. I found some 5-year-old Endone, half a bottle of Johnny Walker Black, some Special K, some second-rate seedy buds, and some nitrous bulbs. Jesus Christ! Was all this just laying around? Yeah, hun, just grab us about 9 or 10 of those bulbs. Where are they? They're just sitting next to the Special K, next to the bulbs. Me and my brother consumed them all together, then he watched a YouTube clip on dislocated shoulders, and without warning, he flicked my arm like he was cracking a whip, and for a split second, I was instantly sober and the most sickening adrenaline rush I've ever felt, and it fucking worked. My boy was a bit worried about the snake biting me, so I went and got it back out of the wheelie bin and bit it back. That is the most fucked up bit of fathering I've ever heard of. Don't worry, son. Don't worry, son. Don't worry, son. My shoulder's all right now. The Special K's kicked in. I'm going to go bite this fucking snake. I'll show it who's boss. The wife locked me and the snake outside at this stage. We took it across the road and released it into the bush to go fuck up someone else's weekend. In Brisbane, the pubs close at midnight on Christmas Eve, so every piss wreck has to go out like it's the last time they will ever see a drink. The missus had organised to meet a few girls at the local and drive them home after, as she had got a new company car. We get dressed up, jeans and polo shirt, did a line or two, let the babysitter in and headed off. Who was the babysitter, the snake or the wheelie bin? Which one? The place was packed, like 20 or 30 rows of people deep at every bar, and the beer garden looked like the Royal Easter Show. We were lined up for a drink when suddenly there was a shrill scream and the crowds parted, and my gay as two dicks touching mate Desi comes running through the crowd and jumps for me to catch him like a bride. I managed to catch the anorexic broomstick and the crowd went nuts. I then led the crowd in a heartwarming rendition of Hey Santa Claus by Kevin Bloody Wilson. It was truly glorious. We were on a tear. We had a round of shots with beer chasers and a few of Desi's pingers. This is a big night. I go for a piss and it's packed too. I finally make it to the trough and barely get the old fella out, and the poor cunt beside me goes down like a sack of shit into a trough. Desi the mischievous fucker had kicked the guy in the back of his knees, and I couldn't help myself, so I pissed on him while he was down. Nice. This bloke is fairly wasted, but he gets up swinging haymakers, and Desi couldn't fight his way out of a pair of Teflon-coated double pluggers. Jesus Christ, no one overseas is going to understand any of this shit. Double pluggers is just the bogan name for flip-flops. That's it. And a bogan is pretty much someone that does every single thing in this story. So Desi can't fight for shit. So I stepped up and throat chopped this poor sap. A few of his mates step up to sort me out, and out of nowhere my brother comes flying in from behind with a double headlock. A couple of bouncers roll in amazingly quickly, and it's all over in seconds. Even as we are being thrown out, Desi is still taunting the guy dripping in piss. It doesn't matter, it's nearly midnight anyway, so we head out to the missus' car. My brother has managed to hook up with one of her friends in the time it takes to walk across the car park, and he goes home with her. Fucking your brother's a mad dog. Me and Desi get in the back, and the missus and her other friend in the front. Desi is talking shit about how it all went down, so I put him in his place and gave him a Chinese burn. Hashtag stop Asian hate. The sad sap nearly cries, so like a preteen older sibling, I say, hit me back, free shot. As predictable as a bridesmaid putting out, he goes for the nipple cripple. Is the nipple cripple universal? Does everyone know what it is? If you don't know what it is, a nipple cripple is just when someone grabs your tit and squeezes it. That's pretty much it, nipple cripple. So he's given me a nipple cripple. I knew I couldn't fight back, so I put my hands on my head and said, "Is that the best you can do?" He then grabs 2 handfuls of my tit and twists the absolute fuck out of them. I laughed it off because I could hardly feel it, I was so blind. Meanwhile, the chick in the front seat goes from silent to power spewing in an instant. She unleashes out her open window, but Desi had his window down, so goes straight in his face. This triggers a chain reaction. He starts chucking, which sets me off, and I'm spewing. The smell is so bad, even my stone cold sober missus starts spewing. We get home, and the missus says, "Get your jeans and your shirt off, and I'll hose you off." Too drunk to argue, I do what I'm told, and she hoses me down. I fall over on the wet grass, and after too many attempts to get back up, she says, fuck this, you can stay there. So I slept on the front lawn, soaking wet in my jocks. On Boxing Day, we call a car detailer mate. He comes and spends 10 hours trying to get the smell out, but only manages to vaguely mask it enough to make the car drivable. When I woke up, I had purple bruises on both tits from Desi's nipple cripple. They were so sore, I couldn't put a shirt on till New Year's. We are still married. My boy just turned 18. He says he's not interested in alcohol. No shit. After living through my efforts, I'm calling that mission accomplished. You're fucking lucky there. Kids can go either way on that one. They can either follow in your footsteps, or they just realize how fucking embarrassing it is and they just carve their own path. But that was a fucking monster story. That encapsulates a lot of Australia. That should be the advertisement for Australia. Where the bloody hell are ya? Cheers for sending it in. That's it for tonight, and I'll see you the fuck later.